Okay, in this lesson we're going to take a look at how to harmonise riffs. I've written a small kind of demo that outlines how to do this basically. I'm going to teach you the main riff once I've played through the performance, and then I'll teach you how to harmonise that. And there's going to be a few sections. There's like an upbeat section, a kind of medium section, and then there's a groove section at the end, and then it ends on like a harmony run. So it should give you a really good idea of how to create your own harmonies when writing your own riff. So the tuning for this song is in drop D, so it's standard tuning with the low E string, tuned down a whole step. And I'm just going to play through the first part of the main riff slow. Here it is. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is pedal toning. So basically what that means is that you're playing notes off of the root using down picking. So you kind of okay, so pedal toning just means that you're alternating between the kind of low root note that you're going for and then the higher up notes. This happens in solos as well. Quite often it's something associated with more neoclassical playing like Malmsteen or Tony McAlpine or something like that. But we're just applying that same technique into riffing. So the actual riff is going to be 8th fret on the A string, 2 palm muted downstrokes on the low E string, then the 5th fret on the A, so then 7th fret on the A, 2 palm muted downstrokes on the low E, and then 4 on the A. So then to finish that off we've got this. Okay, so on the A string that's 12, 8, 7, then 10, 8 to finish. So that basically brings us back to 8 on the A string, which starts the riff, or the second half of the riff again. So at a slow tempo, that first part should sound like this. And then continue with the riff. Okay, so it's basically the same thing again, but slightly different. So you've got. Okay, so when you go to the 7th fret notes and the 4th fret note on the A, you've only got 1 palm muted downstroke on the low E string. So then back to your open, and then this riff. Okay, so that's 3 on the low E string, 8 on the low E, then 5 on the A, back to 8 on the low E, and then 3 on the D, 5 on the the A. Okay, and the picking for that just starts with the downstroke, 2 downstrokes in a row, upstroke on the A string, downstroke on the low E again, and then upstroke on the D, downstroke on the A. Okay, so that's that riff. So at a slow tempo, the whole thing again should sound like this. Okay, and basically the second time round we've got a different ending as well that looks like this. Okay, so this is pedal toning using all palm muted downstrokes. Okay, so all the palm muted downstrokes are on the low E string and then accenting on the A string. Okay, so we're playing the 8th fret on the low E string, 12, 10, and then 8 on the A. So so an accent and then 2 palm muted downstrokes on the low E string, then pedal tone. then move down to the 7th fret on the low E and do the same thing using 10, 8 and then 7 on the A. Okay, so let's hear it slow with that ending. Okay, now we're going to look at the main part of the lesson, which is basically how to harmonise riffs like that. We're going to be using the same low D string as the first riff, but the A string notes are going to harmonise with the first part of the riff. So instead of playing this for the first 4 notes, we're going to play 12th fret, 8th fret on the A, 10th fret on the A and then 7th fret on the A. Now you're probably thinking, well, how do I work that out? Well, D on the 5th fret of the A string is your root, so if you figure out what the scale is, the sort of minor scale up the A string, for example, so you've got 5, 7, 8, which is your first 3 notes. Then starting from the 7th fret, we've got 7, 8, 10, which is the next position. Then we're going to end up on the 8th fret, 10th fret and then 12th fret on the A string. Now this is where your minor third harmony takes place. So if I was to play and then you were to play, it would sound like that. So basically you're harmonising with yourself. So that's basically how you're doing it, but you're doing it single note as if 2 guitars were playing. So to work out minor third harmonies, it's generally you find the first position sort of root of whatever key scale you're in, and then figure out what the scale shape is 2 positions above that, and then that will generally give you a good ballpark as to work out you know, what your harmony is going to be. So sometimes the harmony, you might have to alter certain notes just to musically make it sound better, because when you track everything perfectly, sometimes some of the harmonies sound a bit odd, but that's totally down to you. You know, it's an individual kind of taste. If you kind of like what you hear, then leave it. If you don't, then change it. It's as simple as that. So okay, the harmony, that's how to work out harmony anyway for riffs like this, which is basically all I've done. So the harmony to this riff is going to look like this. Okay, so keeping the same kind of rhythm and everything again, we've got 12, 8, 10 and then 7 all on the A string using that same technique as before. Okay, just to point out actually, to try and keep these riffs as clean as possible, try and use your left hand to mute the strings that you're not playing as much as possible, because it's just going to make these notes pop out even more without any resonating strings going on in the background behind what you're trying to play. Okay, so moving on, we've got this. Okay, so that's 15, 12, 10 and then 13 on the A, and then back to 12 to start the riff again. So slow, it's going to look like this. Okay, so playing the same notes on the A again, just remembering that there's one palm muted downstroke on the low E string in between the last 2 notes. So, okay, then to follow the arpeggio, we're going to be playing this shape, which is 7 on the low E, 10 on the low E, then 8 on the A, 10 on the low E. Then we've got 7 on the D and then 8 on the A. And the same picking applies as to the first arpeggio shape that we looked at. Okay, then back to the riff again. Now there's two ways you can play this next harmony part. You can either play it with the open D, which is what I chose to do for the performance, or you could fret the 12th fret. Either way it's the same note, it's just the 12th fret note's an octave higher. So you've got, or, okay, either way the notes on the A string are going to be 15, 13 and 12, and you're going to have an accent on the low E string and then two palm muted downstrokes on whichever note you choose to play. So you're going to have, okay, then to the 10th fret on the low E string, and then we're going to play frets 13, 12 and 10 on the A. Okay, so slow, the harmony should look like this. Okay, now for the next riff, it's going to be a good opportunity to practice your kind of heavy palm muted down picking using the soft part of your right hand, and the riff looks like this. Okay, so yeah, accent in the bottom two strings this time, so we're going to be playing a little bit more than just single note riffs. Again, any notes that you're not playing, try and mute with your left hand just to try and keep it clean. So the D string, G, the B and the high E string are all basically, it looks like you're playing an A, but you're not really, you're just resting your finger on the strings. So yeah. So that sort of technique of palm muting is just something that, you know, you're keeping everything under control with your right hand, muting everything on your left hand, so it just allows you to play riffs like this, you know, comfortably and convincingly without loads of noise going on and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we're just accenting the first note and then down picking the next two. Then we've got a pull off from the 3rd fret to open on the low E and the A string, so, and then just palm muted downstrokes after that. And then just accenting the 3rd fret bar on the low E and the A. So that's basically the riff. Then you're going to go to the 5th fret and then 6th fret, and then have like a quick down palm muted downstroke on the A and the E as well. Okay, so that riff slow is going to be like this. Okay, and to finish off this little demo that I've written, we've got another kind of harmony lead lick. First of all, I'm going to play the main part, break that down, and then show you the harmony for that. So here it is. Okay, so we're starting off with hammer on and pull off. So well picked, hammer on, pull off on the 5th fret to the 7th fret, back to the 5th fret on the D string. Then we've got 8 on the A, then back to 5 on the D, then 7, 8, 5, 7 on the A. So the hammer on, pull off on the D string and then alternate picked. Then just apply that same pattern again, but to this part. Okay, so 4 to 5 back to 4 on the A, then 8 on the low E, 4 on the A, then 5, 7. That's 7, not 8. So 4, 5, 4 on the A, then 7 on the low E, 4 on the A, then 5, 7, 3, 2, and then open. So slow, it should look like this. Okay, and then to harmonise, again, it's the same technique as what we used before. We just figured out, well, we're looking at the notes on the D string this time, so I just play up the scale. Okay, so the third set of notes is where we're going to start our harmony, and we just basically apply the same pattern that follows the notes that we did before. So. Okay, so that's a hammer on from 8 to 10 back to 8 on the D, then 12 on the A, 8 on the D, 10 to 12 on the A, then 8, 10 on the A. Okay, so that's the first part that goes along with. Okay, and the second part is going to look like this. Okay, so that's 7 to 8, back to 7 on the A string, 10 on the low E, 7 on the A, then we've got 8 to 10 on the low E, then 7 down to 5 on the A, on the E, sorry, and then open to finish. Can get a bit tricky from time to time, but you know, doing stuff like that, you kind of isolate bits that you know you have trouble with, and then just kind of keep repeating it, and then eventually you'll get it down. So. Okay, well that's my lesson on how to create harmony with metal riffs. Yeah, so basically just come up with your own riffs, try and have fun working out all the harmonies, and then try and record it or get a friend around and teach them that bit, and then you can sit in your lounge over a couple of beers and then jam this stuff out and see how it sounds. So thanks for watching.